Okay, so this is my review for Don't Look Up, and Don't Look Up is a fantastic movie that stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence and like Meryl Streep, and it's a very all-star cast. Um, but it stars a bunch of them, and it's directed by Adam McKay, who you would know probably from Anchorman, Step Brothers, Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby, a lot of movies like that. And he's one of my favorite directors. And he directed this film, and he came up with the script of it before COVID, which I find interesting to learn. But it's okay. So it's about scientists who find out that an asteroid, a huge asteroid that will kill the fucking planet. It was 9 kilometers in diameter, so that means it's 9 kilometers full. Is coming towards the Earth in 6 months and 14 days and will destroy the planet. And it's about kind of people's reaction to it and like the politicians' lack of awareness to it, and it is fantastically it's fantastically done. Some of the scenes with Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio are amazing. And this movie is terrifying. Not necessarily because it's like a horror movie like Last Night in Soho or It, but it's just, this happened, kind of. The absolute lack of attempt and lack of effort put into something that could wipe out the population. How the president of the United States reacted to COVID and how people have reacted to COVID. And it was written before COVID, which I think is important to keep in mind. But yeah, it's fantabulous. If you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend it. It's so well done. Some of the scenes are amazing, and like Leonardo DiCaprio, this is the first full movie I've watched with him in it, and it is so good. But it's terrifying because this could happen. I remember watching it and just being terrified that something like this could happen, whether it's a planet killer asteroid or just something else, and it kind of did with COVID, and just the lack of effort, and it's so great. I would highly recommend it, but only if you're like feeling okay. Yeah, now I'm gonna get into spoilers. Okay, bye-bye. I didn't take notes for this movie, so I don't have that to be based off of, but this movie was great. It's like, okay, I'm gonna start off. Leonardo DiCaprio's character in this, like there's at the first little bit when they were like zooming in on him every now and then, and he's just like twitching or like tapping something really fast. I really like that, and how it just demonstrates his nervousness. I don't know what was going on with his beard, whether that was real or fake. Like, I didn't love that, but I don't think a lot of people did. Sorry, I'm playing with my hair. But yeah, he was great in this, and the scene where the news scenes where they're on the newscasts with Kate Upton's character and that one other guy, those are some of the best scenes of the film. Those are some of the highlights of the film, and that is when some of the best acting comes out of the two. But my favorite scene out of him, probably one of my favorite scenes out of him, was when he is alone on the broadcast and he is freaking out and he's just screaming. That scene is so great, and you can see at the beginning of the scene that they try and bleep it out, but they can't, because they can't predict that. And also, the scene, I'm just gonna keep going on a rant on his character at the moment. The scene at the end where the asteroid's going to hit and there's nothing they can do about it. That scene where they're just spending their last few moments together, that got me. That made me cry. It's so sad. All right. Jennifer Lawrence's character, she was great in this movie. And also, side note, I love the two main running jokes in this movie. I love it so much. How the first one with the bag over the head, And like after Leonardo DiCaprio, Leo's like break on the show, how it just cuts to him with a bag over his head. I love that, and that running joke was great. It was very welcome after this downer of a movie. Don't get me wrong, it was great. Yeah, but also the other running joke of why did he charge me for the food? What? Why? I love that, and how like it cuts down to her and Chalamet's character, and they're just talking about it, and I love that. It's a stupid joke that I love throughout the movie, and it was great. But her scenes in this, she was also great, like her because her scenes in this are great, and I'm gonna keep going back to the main scenes of like with well for these two characters at least of the ending scene, where they know the meteor's coming, and the scenes at the news, and those scenes were both amazing, and like whenever she starts like yelling or getting very mad, I love that. I love that so much. She's great in this. All right, Meryl Streep's character, it becomes clearer and clearer throughout the movie that they're parodying Trump. Like at the beginning, it's kind of there, like an older politician with blonde hair who's very rich, and I think Trump smokes, but I'm not sure. And then throughout the movie, when like you got the pins, and I think Jonah Hill kind of dresses like him, and like she has the hat of like "Don't Look Up" hat. Like, okay, yeah, we get it. It's clear it's a parody of Trump. Don't get me wrong, it's a good parody. It's a good parody of Trump. It's a lot better than this fuckhead from Doctor Who, from Arachnids in the UK, which was not a great episode. But it's a lot. It's a good parody, and just the corruption going on, where she pulls the rocket down when it could have saved the world just for money. And oh, it pissed me off. It really pissed me off. But it's supposed to. And that's the beauty of his writing. It's a fantabulous film. I'm not even sure if that's a word, fantabulous. Okay. She was great in it. Meryl Streep was great in it. Jonah Hill, the weird incest thing with his mom was weird. He's like, this is the only president I want to see on Playboy, and it got very odd at some points. But it's a nice running joke, although creepy. But his character's fun, and it's like he's an asshole, and I feel bad for him at the end when he's just like, yeah, mom's coming back, mom's coming back. But yeah, I don't know. All right, one of my favorite jokes is how he's like, well, Meryl Streep's character was like, well, how am I gonna die to the billionaire guy who I think was Bill Gates, and he's like, oh, it's by this one creature that we don't know the name of, and it's like, oh, that's worrying. And then when they get to the planet at the end, they have the creature and just kills them. I love that. Right, it's editor me with my cool handy dandy editing hats on that I wear whenever I edit a video. I'm only realizing now that I didn't really talk about the end, and the end being that all the rich billionaires go off into the freezing thing for like 22,000 years, and they come back on the new planet. Sure, it's a fine ending. Like, it might be part of the movie I like the least. I don't know. I don't find it exactly that important. It was funny, but it's hype for a second. I thought they wouldn't kill off the characters, but they did, and I found that he did it really well in the scene where they're all sitting at the table and they know it's going to end, and the earthquake happens, and it's the end of the movie. It's the end of the characters, and I loved that so much. Thank you, Adam McKay. This is an amazing movie. This movie, it's so dark, and it's a very sad movie, but I'd highly recommend it. It is amazing. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. If you haven't watched it, Don't Look Up. It's on Netflix. Great movie. 100% would recommend it. Go watch it. Don't Look Up. Okay, bye-bye. If you want to subscribe, you may. I would really appreciate it. Same with liking. What did you think of Don't Look Up? Or do you like my super fantabulous hairstyle today? Oh my god. Um, if you want to comment something, feel free. I have an Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook page if you want to go follow those. I also have a Twitch and a second account that I don't normally promote, but I am now. So feel free to go follow those. I'd really appreciate it. And have a good day.